hope that he would do this, that, and the other, but like, did you ever communicate that this is how you want to feel loved every day? Not just on Valentine's Day, okay? But like every day. But if we're focusing on this day, is that, right? How do you want to be loved? What are the expectations? Welcome to Orgasmica, a place where pleasure becomes medicine, where we speak without fear about sexuality, spirituality, and healing. I'm Virginia Novello, actress, producer, writer, tantric coach, and the creator of this space. This is a reminder that living an orgasmic life is not just about sex. Are you ready to live an orgasmic life? Because by pressing play, you already begun the journey. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Orgasmica, the podcast where we talk all about sexuality, sensuality, and all things healing. And today you only have me. I wanted to do a solo episode, which I do once in a while because I really want to talk to you guys. And you guys also have a lot of questions about sexuality. And I want to be able to answer your questions, even though interviewing amazing, interesting people is always so fun. But once in a while, it's just going to be me answering some of your questions. And today, there are several questions around this subject, which is Valentine's Day. Dun, 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 dun. Valentine's Day comes with a lot of expectations. It comes with a lot of things that we should and shouldn't be doing and how people should or should not behave. And it's just like so much pressure on one freaking day that's supposed to mean so much things, right? It's like sometimes the one day that people want to have sex or will have sex. Like there's some days that is like where you're expecting your person to be romantic and then the rest of the days we can ignore, but it's like the pressure of it. I also want to talk about if you're single. You know, what happens with a holiday that it's all focused in love and love and love, love, love. And then you're single and you're feeling bad about yourself and you're feeling like, okay, you're the only one or you are not worth celebrating because you not have a partner, right? Interestingly enough, though, in Spanish, in Mexico, I'm from Mexico, for the ones that don't know, Valentine's Day is not just Valentine's Day, it's El Día del Amor y la Amistad. So the day of love and friendship. So in high school, we could send flowers to our friends, and or in middle school as well. And so we would write little notes and letters to appreciation to our friends. And I love that so much. And I hate that this is not more something that is here, like the celebratory of friendship, because I do believe that soulmates come in many spaces, and sometimes our soulmates are also our friends. And I do have a couple of soulmates in friendships that I'm really, really grateful and amazing for. So let's get into it. So first of all, let's talk about expectations, okay? Hi, such an interesting and horrific word because we always and most of the time end up being disappointed. Expectations sometimes most of the time, lead to disappointment. And not because the other person won't show up, is our expectations and we don't communicate our expectations of how we want other people to show up. I feel like that's a lot of the conversations that I had with clients and with my friends, where it's like, oh, I just hope that he would do this, that, and the other, but did you ever communicate that this is how you want to feel loved every day? Not just on Valentine's Day, okay? But every day. But if we're focusing on this day, is that, right? How do you want to be loved? What are the expectations, right? Some people are like, I expect to get laid and be really kinky and be da-da-da-da. I expect my partner to take me out to dinner, to do this, to do that, give me flowers, give me chocolates, all the expectations. And we have this I think it's a crazy idea that the people that love us need to read our minds. I think that's insanity. I think that has been something that it's deep into the culture. I make movies, so I understand that movies also are partly to blame with this idea of oh, you understand me so deeply that you will know every single one of my needs and wants at all times. And although that can happen, there are times that our person can be in sync of what we want and need, which is beautiful and amazing. A lot of the times it doesn't, because we're human beings. And where I am in life right now, it might be different to where my partner is right now. And what he needs right now, it might be completely different of what I need right now. And so we would just show up with all these expectations. There's going to be a clash of connection, right? Also, it could be just one more day. My husband and I really don't celebrate Valentine's Day per se. It's just one more day. I put more emphasis on how I show up for him and our love on an everyday basis than just one more day. But it can be a day where it's like, oh, like you want to play around, you want to do this, and becoming clear of what is it that you need. A lot of women, there's like, okay, Valentine's Day, he wants to get kinky. Let me buy all this lingerie, all these things. But maybe you might be on your period. You might not want to have sex in that moment because you might be in your luteal phase. And so there needs to be different conversations about how you can connect. And here enters exercise of Tantra that can really help those type of things when you are with your partner. Because penetration is not just the only way to connect with somebody. And listening to our bodies as women is highly, highly, I mean, as everybody really, is highly, 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 deeply, deeply, deeply important. Okay. And so if you're in a space, but the expectation is like all this sex and all these things, but in your body, you're like, oh my God, I'm in my luteal phase, or I'm in pain, or I'm having cramps and I don't feel like it. It's not all or nothing. And that's a huge problem with a lot of people with their sexuality. Instead of being like, well, I'm so sorry, there's not going to be anything, right? It's going to be like, hey, this is how my body is feeling right now. So let me communicate how my body is feeling right now. Now, that doesn't mean that we don't get to have fun. That doesn't mean that we don't get to have an experience, connected sexual experience. That doesn't mean that we don't get to have orgasms and pleasure, because all of our body, all your body is a sexual experience if you want it to be. It's an orgasmic experience if you want it to be. So there's a couple of things that you can do with your partner, right? And if it's about connection, that then it can lead into other things, because that also can be, right? My body is not in that space, but when I'm connected with you, there's this meditation where you look into each other's eyes. You sit on top of your partner as a woman, or it could be woman, woman, whoever is the least heavier sits like across over here, which is the lotus pose. And then you just look into each other's eyes and you breathe. And you inhale and you exhale. And you inhale and you exhale. And you kind of like start going into this rhythm. But when you truly look into somebody's eyes and really stare at them, not just like look at them quickly, but we stop looking into each other's eyes a lot. Even when we're in conversation, we stop doing that. There's so much power into just staring into somebody's eyes. There's this like tantric saying, that if you look into anybody's eyes for 5 minutes, you will fall in love with them. And there's a lot of tantric courses where they have people, even people with the same sex, looking at each other, and for more than 5 minutes. And there's something that's just so beautiful that happens, which is you kind of just drop and connect. You really can connect with anybody like this. But we feel at first very uncomfortable because we don't stare like that anymore for more than like a minute. We can barely look even at our phones for like the next thing. We don't hold attention like that anymore. So holding attention with a partner like that is extremely amazing, beautiful, just connected, it's just such a beautiful way. So doing like that, yes, you might feel uncomfortable because you've never done it before, but we need to be uncomfortable a little bit. We need to have some resistance to uncomfortability. I feel like, don't have it anymore because we have a phone again that we can just go, oh, I'm uncomfortable, let me go to my phone. And our phone is a regulating way of getting out of uncomfortable spaces. But when you're safe with your partner, when you feel like nothing's happening, I'm not in danger, right? There is a comfortability when we're trying something new. So if you just look at your partner's eyes and you breathe in and you breathe out and you're just there, and then touch each other's hearts, just the heart, connect there first, and you keep breathing, right? There's also another exercise, what I love to do with my partner. And in that same space, we're looking at each other, and I tell him, what am I proud of him for? And that is such a beautiful gift. I rather that gift than flowers or chocolates or anything like that. Because one of the things that we want the most as humans is being seen. And there's a lot of things that we do on a daily basis that we don't think we're being seen. And when another person sees us, Oh my God, what a gift. And our heart immediately expands, right? Expands in that beautiful way. So I will tell him things that there might be little, right? But knowing him and living with him, I can see. So it could be like, I'm really proud that you took that phone call, and I know it was a really hard phone call to have, and you were breathing through it, and you were calm through the whole phone call. And afterwards, you came to me and hugged me to regulate yourself. I'm really proud for you to take care of yourself, also showing up for the hard things. That's an example, right? And he's like, oh, wow, like I wouldn't think that you would have noticed that. And I do. And then he does that to me. And we do like 5 times. And it's a beautiful thing to be noticed and to notice somebody. What a gift it is to be seen in the hard moments and in the small moments that is like, you didn't feel like getting out of bed today, but you did. And it was a hard day for you because it's a hard day for the world. And you got up and you did the hard thing. What a beautiful thing that is. What a beautiful, amazing thing that is. And so you can go from there, from connection, from that, and then it might lead into something else. It might lead into like touching each other, like start touching each other and breathe with each other, right? And then, yeah, you can explore your bodies. I would love for you to explore other parts of your bodies that it's not the usual, without the expectation of ending into something. But like, how about touching that person's back, and kissing them and truly exploring them, like with different, it could be with different textures, or it could be with uh, different ways of kissing and touching. Is like, what do you like the best of all of this? Your whole body is a sexual alive thing, and you could have so many orgasms, but just like literally the touch of a finger. But we're not awoken into that. So we just go focus on like 3 main points of the body, and we leave the rest of the body out. So how amazing it is that you get to explore that with another person. So I really, really, really would encourage you to do that and to listen to your body. And in that moment, you're like so open because all of that connection and touch really open you up. Then you can say, I am I am ready and open for more, for penetration, for other things, right? But not immediately with like, "Ah, I don't want to, but I told him to, and it's Valentine's Day." And that is a way to betray yourself and betray the relationship. And your body will resent you, and then you will end up resenting the other person. So let's stop doing that. Let's just absolutely freaking stop doing that. Betraying yourself will never work, not for the good of the person or the relationship. But there's always a middle point. There's not just all or nothing. There's always something in between that can be explored, that can be talked about, that can be connected. And it's not all or nothing, right? And so let's stop thinking that way and think about how we can connect the most. Know how we can be perceived the most sexy, or like, oh my God, yeah, this is what I did on Valentine's Day. I bought all this lingerie and I hang from the freaking ceilings. Now, if that's what you want to do and you feel connected doing that, amazing. But it's not the expectation of the day, because that's how you should behave. Because on Valentine's Day, or because whatever, an anniversary, or like whatever it is, right? That's betraying yourself. Now, asking the questions, how would I feel the most connected to my partner? How would I feel the most connected to myself? How would I feel the most connected to my body? How would I feel the most open and relaxed? And you go from there to the activity, not the other way around, not the activity to the connection. Yeah, does that make sense? I hope it does. Now, let's talk about, I want to mention something, and then we're going to go into the people that are single. And the thing that I'm going to mention is this. I am recording this in a moment where it's a really hard time in the world. It's been a really hard time in the world for a while. And so sometimes it feels weird to be here talking about subjects like this when there's people that are getting kidnapped, there's people that are getting, especially if you're Latino, which I am, a Mexican, and my community is suffering deeply. And so I almost feel like split at times, where I'm like, well, do I have to shut this off in order to continue this? And I know a lot of people feel the same way. When the world around us is in danger, when our communities are being stripped away, when this country feels dangerous, this and many other countries, the world, really, the world feels dangerous, it's really hard to want to come back to ourselves. it feels selfish to connect to your body. It feels selfish to connect to your pleasure. It feels selfish to connect to your partner, because then you think, oh my God, there are people over there that are hiding. There are children that are suffering. Like, it's so selfish of me to do that. That's something that I have thought about so much. And I don't think that is selfish. I'm going to tell you why. The more I truly do believe, the more connected you are to yourself, the more you pour into yourself in that way, in a sexual way, the more connected you're with your partner, the more connected you are with the sexual energy that comes within you, which is such a freaking powerful energy, the more you're going to be able to fight what is out there, the more you're going to be able to speak of what is out there. Because connecting to your body is also regulating your nervous system. And being your nervous system out of whack, because all the news and all the things that are happening, it just makes you panic and not stepped in ways that are actually helpful. And I want everybody to wake the fuck up in their bodies, so then we can do this differently. That's why I talk a lot to women, because women are so disconnected from here. They're so disconnected from here, and here and between their legs, that's where their freaking power is. That's where it's at. And so, because I want us to create a world from there. And the way that we have to step out for these kids, it comes from like that motherhood, like intense, raging, because rage is also sacred, raging space. But it would be like, you're going to panic, you're going to freeze, you're going to fight in not a helpful way. And if you don't regulate it, and if you're not coming back to you. So this is not a selfish thing to do. This is not a selfish thing to think about. Now, don't block out what's going on in the world. That is a selfish thing to do. But taking care of yourself, connecting to your power and your pleasure, and connecting to the people around you, so you all can connect into what's going on and do something out there, that is what's necessary. So it isn't selfish. Selfish is not taking care of yourself so then you can take care of others, right? So that was a little bit of I had to mention what's going on, because it feels weird not to, because I don't want to split myself into that kind of sense. So connect to yourself so then you can do something, because I need everybody to do something of what's going on. Action. But we cannot take action if we are in freeze mode, if we are separated from who we actually are, our sacred self. Okay, so let's talk to our single, gorgeous people. Oh my God. So much pressure on that side too. Holy Jesus Christ. I remember when I was single, it was a moment that I felt like really bad for myself, and that this question came out for me a lot. It's like, what's wrong with me that I'm single? Now, if you're in your 30s or your 40s, or you're nearly single, or you're nearly divorced, like, there's so many like singlehood ways that you're single by choice, or you're single not by choice, whatever it is. The common denominator of all of it is, this is an opportunity for you to connect to yourself. When you're in a partnership, a lot of it is like connecting to myself and then connecting to the other person. This is an opportunity to, I'm not going to say selfish, but be selfish, be deliciously selfish, to connect to yourself to a point where you know yourself so deeply and so well. And then you can give yourself also a moment of romance and connection. That you don't need a partner in order to do that. We like see in movies, right? Either I'm with a partner who's like da-da-da, or I'm in the couch, Bridget Jones' Diary style, like, can't live living it without you. I'm not a singer, obviously. But you know what I mean? It's like drinking the ice cream and watching a romantic comedy and like crying because I'm alone. And like, let's cut that bullshit on that. Disconnect from that, because that takes your power out. Now, do you want to be in your feelings? Yes, I'm 100%, 1,000% be in your feelings when you need to be. But feeling bad for yourself because somebody is not there to give you something, which is also fair, valid feelings, by the way, valid fucking feelings to just feel that. But also, how can you make this a connection night for yourself? And it's so interesting that when we plan a night, when we plan, let's say, a romantic night, we put like candles and a bath for a person, a massage for a person, and then sexy time in connection with a person. And then when it's time for us to connect with ourselves, it's like, well, I might buy a vibrator and like do it in the bedroom and that's it. How about if you romanticize yourself in that kind of a way? Right? How about you do a bath and you turn the candles and you buy your favorite foods and you really, really enjoy them and connect to those foods when you really, really enjoy every bite of it. And you watch maybe your favorite movie that you have watched 20 fucking times, but you don't care because you don't have to ask the other person if they want to watch it, which is like the most amazing thing, also being by yourself. There is no permission to ask and there's no middle ground to hit. It's just you with yourself and what turns you on. So that's the question. What turns you on? What is it that like, oh my God, this food is like, I haven't had this food and that like make it or order it, like put candles. What is your favorite smell and your favorite scent? Smell it. Shave for yourself or like, do your things for yourself. Get in the bath for yourself and then have a connection night with yourself. I have several meditations that I have the 6 magic meditation that you can get from my website, sacred underscore alchemia.com. And you can see it. It's like sex magic is to manifest all the things that you want through an orgasmic experience. And so you can download that experience and that meditation and you can have it. I also have some meditations and Insight Timer that it's just about connecting to yourself. It's like, wow, right? It's all, what if we stop putting it out there for like somebody else to make us feel something and we take that and we're like, I'm going to connect myself with this. And not just because it's Valentine's Day, because we should be doing this on a like monthly basis, having those moments with ourselves. That's one of the things that they have stripped away from us as women is that, especially if we grew up in a religious way, a lot of it is like don't touch yourself because it's a sin, and so literally truly enjoying touching yourself and looking at yourself. I also have a vulva meditation, which is like you look at your vulva and you like breathe in and really get to know that part of yourself, because that's something that so many generations before you sadly didn't get to do because that was stripped away from us. And so it's reclaiming, it's a reclamation of your body. It's a reclamation of who you are. It's a reclamation of your pleasure. It's a reclamation of exploring your pleasure, not based on what other person is doing or not doing, but what you like. It's like touching yourself, not just to get a quick orgasm, but really touching yourself to explore yourself in the most beautiful, amazing ways. Be like, oh, do I like this? Oh, do I like that? And you can use toys, you can use your hand, you can use many things, but also I recommend your bare hand so you can really touch yourself. Now, this is geared obviously towards women because I'm a woman and I can tell you that experience, but I also have many men that have done this experience for themselves. Now, men are like, what? No, I need to be watching porn in order to do this. No, you don't. You also get to connect to yourself. You also get to look yourself in the mirror, look at your body, look at your beautiful, amazing naked body, which is God's perfection of love. No matter what size you are, no matter what color you are, it is a masterpiece. And what is a masterpiece? A piece of the master. And that's what you are. That's your body. So you also get to connect to your body. You also get to play with yourself. You also get to connect with yourself. And it's not because men have this perception that that is, gay or whatever whatever that is. If that is gay, then be more gay. That's what I would say, which I love my LGBTQ people. They're just so open about exploring this because they don't necessarily have a lot of these restrictions. So connecting with yourself in a deeper way, also enjoy your own freaking company. Watch that slasher movie that you want to watch, connect with yourself. And it's okay to feel the feelings of I want to connect with myself, but also sucks being single. That's also fine. But I don't want it to overtake you. Right? I wanted to empower you. This thing can be empowering whether you're with somebody or not. And what I want to get rid of are the expectations and the bullshit of this needs to be this way or that way without communication. I honestly, me and my husband really don't celebrate it because I made it my life to connect with him and my body every single day with it. But if you haven't done that, then this is an opportunity to actually do it. It's an opportunity to actually do it. Give yourself permission to actually get it done. I am also releasing an online course. It's 5 weeks. It's online, and I have options of just doing it online, or you have me once a week to accompany with you. And everything comes with 5 videos and then journaling prompts, action things that you have to take, and a tantric meditation. So if you're interested in that, go to my website. And I hope that you really, really this time around connect with yourself in the most deeply amazing, gorgeous, orgasmic way, because you deserve it and the world truly, truly needs it. I'll see you guys on the next episode.